That's killed it.
He made the decision to play Thiago. But Klopp doesn't change the system. Since move back left, he don't want to change from the 4-3-3.
Boom, boom, boom. What's going on, people? Back again. With the infamous, the fan favourite, the amazing tactics board. With, as you can see, with myself, G, Roms. Big up everyone in the chat as well, everyone that's watching so far. How we doing, people? Hey, what are you doing? What are you saying?
Favorite show of the week, but with the worst possible result. This is literally that. But I love this show, man. I love this show.
What are you saying, G?
Nah, man, you know me, man. I love a tactics board. I love the fact that we get delved in and we can see how really shit we performed the other day. So, you know, I can't wait to dive in. Let's go.
That's the best thing about it, and that's why I like the instant match reaction. This is why I like the tactics board also, because you come at it from a different perspective. Certain things that you might have thought before might not have been the case,
exactly.
And so forth. So it's an amazing way to actually analyze the game. Now, guys, as I've said multiple times, you already know the deal. Ticket to entry. Do you know what I mean? Right now we got Ash as the bouncer. Do you know what I mean? In the background. Where's the lights? Where's the lights? To be fair, the bouncer's actually late to work, so I'm not sure whether. Do you know what I mean? G Rom, do we give him the sack? I don't know what's going on. McClubbin, let us know. What do we do with Ash?
The way that our club is, we ain't even got the energy to sack him, man.
What do we do, man? What do we do? Let us know, guys. What do we do?
Man, like
you know
Ricky
what, Ash.
I didn't even think. You know what? I'm here now. That's all that matters. I'm here now. Apologies, people.
I don't know if anyone said this, but big up Ash. What house is that? Is he in Virgil's? Do you know what I mean?
Bro, I keep telling him, like, yo, my guy.
How did you get into Virgil's? Do you know what I mean? Closet.
Whoa.
Have you had a word with him?
Virgil, do you know what? Someone needs to have a word with him. Someone needs to have a big word with Virgil right now.
Yeah, we do. Literally, we're gonna have a word with Virgil, but let's just big up everyone that's been in the chat so far. 16 of us. If we can get 16 likes off the bat, that will be amazing. Big up Mohammed in there as always. Ricky. Big up J Roms and the G. You know. I like that. The G.
Yeah, I'm using that. Thanks, Ricky. I'm using that. The G now.
Why then Shaw is buzzing. We got why does Klopp look like we'll punch up a man if you mention transfers? Listen, I've never seen a man so rattled. Well, we'll get into it. Abdish Chowdhury, big up. Now look, as guys are obviously people will be coming in and stuff. A closet Virgil, that's a new one.
Virgil, yeah.
But cool. Quick one just to get our blood boiling in the right mindset, you know, all hot, all tired, all pissed at the result and so forth. Pep Linder's Intensity, the best-selling book in Liverpool at the moment. How are we feeling about it? I know obviously some people might have got their hands on the book now. I know there was supposed to be a book signing in Liverpool yesterday. That actually got
I'm so gutted that I missed it. Oh man!
And actually got cancelled.
The
club actually cancelled it due to the poor performance and the result.
Serious?
No, yeah, I'm being serious. This is serious. So I wanted people's thoughts because I know not everyone.
Right, the cancel.
If you went, it would have been yeah.
Pep, it is me and you. Yeah, me and you, Pep. I will chase you around the book signing. So, right, we lose the Champions League final, we lose the Premier League, and we don't cancel a parade, but we lose one game, and Pep Linder's book signing's cancelled. Like, what's this about?
Yeah, I really don't know what's going on, to be fair. But in regards to the, you know, G, I know you read some of the book. You took time out your day to have a flick through. read some of the wise words, pen to paper from Pep himself, the number 2. How have you felt about that so far? Considering where we are as a club at the moment and the kind of the form we're in and all the nonsense going on in the background.
Let's put it this way, yeah. The fact that they've cancelled that book signing, that should give everybody an indication as to how stupid him writing a book actually was. Even for those who haven't read it, I'm not going to spoil it or anything like that for anybody, not like it's a spoiler. But for those who haven't read it, just ask yourself this question, yeah? Go back through history and find out how many number 2s have written books for whilst they've still been an assistant manager to a number 1. Go and find out, because you'll probably see that number's tiny. There's a reason for that. This book gives you the reason why you don't write books whilst you're still here. It doesn't make any sense. Some of the things that he said, I can now see why Crystal Palace, Fulham, Man United have all played the way that they play. Read that book. I know how to play against Liverpool now. I know what makes Liverpool tick. I know what Liverpool need to get going. I know probably more about Liverpool than I did as a normal Liverpool fan.
Basically, G, we snitched on ourselves. Well, he snitched on us, basically.
Yeah. You know, like the man who go on like Insta Live, like, you know, the American rappers and that, they go on live and they're always dry snitching on themselves, like every second. That's exactly what he did with this book.
Yeah, that's what Pep done. You let the world know what we're about, how to beat us, how to break us down.
But it's not even that though, Roms. It's, I think there's like I can't remember word for word, but there was like a piece in there when he says, you know, we're not the same Liverpool of today. The Liverpool of today is not the Liverpool of tomorrow. My brother, you've just given everybody what Liverpool were yesterday and tomorrow and what we're going to be in 3 weeks' time. You're so stupid. It's unbelievable.
Big up you three, because you know how adamant I was not to read it this morning.
Yeah.
I hear you now, G. I have to, just to see what the thinking is behind it, because I was adamant. I'm not touching that book. I'm just going to get annoyed, but I'm actually going to delve into it now. I have to. I think it's only right.
Ash, you look proper glum. How you feeling, man?
This is the most stressed I've seen Ash.
Yeah, actually, I don't think he's tired.
He's smiling.
I'm everything right now. Like, I'm everything. Liverpool are just. Do you know what? Like, I come on a stream yesterday. Yesterday, I said to you three, I was like, I just don't want to do any streaming. Don't want to do anything. I streamed yesterday, and I was like, do you know what? I vented my anger a little bit. I feel better. Gio votes for this. I went to bed on cloud 9. I wake up this morning and everybody's linked to everybody else. Liverpool should be signing. Naby Keita, is he injured? I'm just sick of everything surrounding the club. It's just tiring now. And it's just like, just get this transfer window done so I know what Liverpool squad's going to look like, so I can either be optimistic about the season or I can just be like, do you know what? We're probably going to be in a top 4, top 6 battle. But I just need to know. I just want this 8 days to be done now because I'm sick of speculation, FC.
Yeah, that's the problem, man. Like we're in a situation now where I just want a body. And I know we're not going to talk about, obviously, transfers, all that type of thing. We're not going to delve into that, but I just really want a body. I really want a body. I'm almost like that guy at the end of a rave that's just scouring for anything available.
You know when you think anything,
stumble, and you're like, that's the one I want. Do you know what I mean? You see the stumble at the nightclub, the ankle go, do you know what I mean? And you're like, yeah, there we go. There we go.
No, you know what? This is probably the club's thought process, though. You know exactly what you just said, Jerry. The club's probably thinking, I don't want to wake up in the morning and be like, what the fuck is next to me? That's why the club ain't signing anymore.
Klopp's going to turn around. Klopp's going to turn and look at Paqueta and be like, shit.
Well, you're not good enough for us.
Listen, you were so mad. Yeah? You were so mad. Is that when we signed Kabak, I even started singing songs about him. I thought he was going to be the next guy. I was like, yeah, that's Gomez out. I was like, again, he's our centre back. Kabak. He's our centre back. That killed me. The way he killed me, it bit me in the back, yeah. I feel so bad. I was telling people, I was like, no, Cap will be Kabak and Verge, you know, like.
Boy.
Listen.
Boy.
It's
Guys,
mad.
guys in the comments, yeah. Obviously, we're busting joke, but this is the state of our club right now. This is where we're at. We're here right now. We've got to laugh, because if you don't laugh, you're just gonna walk around sad all day. And I can't be bothered anymore. Honestly, I can't even let this club just affect my day like the way it's been affecting it recently, bro. It's annoying.
I think I can speak for all us four that because we don't have no real expectation. You can just laugh and joke now because you're you know how like last week we were tired, we were just angry. We're past that now. It's
we're past that. Yeah,
you know that phrase when someone just had enough? It is what it is. That's literally what it is now.
Yeah, it is what it is. That's it, man. But guys, like, everyone in the chat as well, and I want to know from you guys as well, and before we head into like and delve into like the tactical side of stuff. But where do our expectations lie now with the league? Because it doesn't look like Liverpool are going to go unless we have literally a panic. A period of just panic within the club where they just go out and buy everyone that they can. Where do we assess the squad? Are we a top 4 team? Are we still challenging for the league? Is this just a blip? Are we going to end up second, or do we end up further down the line? Where is it? And everyone in the chat as well. I see loads of us in there. I'm going to get through the comments before we start as well. But Ash, start with you, man.
Do you know what it is? I don't know if it was one of you yesterday said, still, with the squad we've got, there's only Man City and Liverpool who can go on that 20-game run where we can be unbeaten, where we can win 18 of those games. I'm still in that mindset because, like, as bad as it is now, Thiago is injured. Like, there are some bad injuries. Like, Jota's out. Jota would make a massive difference. So people coming back, we are going to improve, and we can go on that run. But it's just so dire that the second-string team can't get past the likes of Crystal Palace, Fulham, Manchester United, which means we're relying on people being fit. I still think we can challenge for the title. I really do. But if people stay injured, if we don't bring, I think we need to at least bring one person in, just to be sure in midfield. But it's going to be a tough ask. We're going to be overachieving again, and that's the word we keep using, isn't it? We're going to be overachieving again, but I think we can still do it with the squad we've got because we're capable of getting on a run. I don't know. I'm being optimistic in it.
Roms, you done a bit of a cheeky smile, as Rom said. You think you can win the league? How are you feeling? Because I know you were Mr. Optimist before. You were like, one signing and we got it. One signing and we're
exactly. Even when everyone's saying it's still, I said just get one body in, and I actually felt we could challenge, but I'm trying not to be reactionary because Ash said he said a few good things there where I do still feel we are capable going on that run, but where our squad's so fragile, I know you're saying, Ash, we're missing these players, but these players, God forbid this will happen, but these players will come back and then drop out again as quick as they come back. And that's why I don't really have that confidence. The only potential positive for us is, let's say, I'm not even going to mention City in this bracket. Let's say, like, who are the teams that are nailed on kind of for top 4? Let's say Chelsea, Arsenal, and Spurs, right? Let's say they start to go on that winning run and kind of gap us in terms of points. They start to claw away from us. I feel like the World Cup being right in the middle of the season could be an advantage to us depending where we are at that time. Because I'm going to be completely honest with you, lot. It's round the corner. I think players leave from start of November. I do feel we'll be in and around top 4, but I don't think we're going to be as high as our fan base think we'll be. But the only thing to our advantage is when you're on a 6, 7, 8 game winning run, you want to keep on playing. That's why us as Liverpool fans in recent campaigns, we've been so annoyed with international breaks. We're like, 1 minute, we're winning so much, then that momentum kind of halts. Do you know what I mean? So that's the only thing in our favour potentially. Because I think by the time we lead to World Cup, this is my prediction. I'm going to give you an earlier one. Regardless if a body comes in or not, I reckon we'll be 3rd or 4th. We won't be in top 2, but I reckon we'll be 3rd or 4th, only a couple points above 5th. But if you ask me right now, Jerry, my aim for this season is just to get top 4 now, because I honestly don't believe we're capable.
I just want to see good football, Roms. Like I really want to just see entertaining football now. Play a different style. What you said though about the World Cup, That is to our advantage. We've not got many players going to the World Cup.
Exactly.
So
I
it
didn't
is
even
to our
mention that bit.
advantage.
Yeah.
That's not like the fact that we haven't got players getting to the World Cup. Though, I know I'm going off a tangent, but does that not kind of suggest that the quality of our squad isn't up to scratch? Because I do hear that, of course, you get your Salahs and stuff, and you might get a Haaland that's not at a team potentially that can qualify for a World Cup. But considering a lot of players, a lot of our players are actually from Europe, the fact that we're not getting hampered by World Cup, maybe that suggests our squad isn't as good as we feel it is. Because there's not even a guarantee, and we'll get onto Trent, but there's not a guarantee that Trent's going to make the squad.
Yeah, facts. That's actually
there isn't, because we know how Southgate is, and we know that there's a massive pull for right. When you look at it,
the only thing where I'm going to counter that,
and you've got James. If they're all firing, it's not out of the question for Southgate to be like, you know what, Trent is sitting at home.
You know what, Jerry? Yeah, I feel like regardless of Trent's form, he'll go but not play. He'll just be a body.
Yeah,
because. Regardless, if let's say he has a stinker up until the World Cup, just because of his clout and what he's done for the game, and how criticized Southgate got last time when remember when he was in his rich reign of form, and he just dropped him, and the whole country were on him. Even people that don't even like Trent were like, "No, he needs to be in." I just feel I can't see Trent starting a game at all at the World Cup, because I do think he will go regardless, but that will be into our favor. But I just feel like Southgate will bring him just because it's Trent.
Yeah, that's true. Do
you know what? That's the same case with so many players. They'll go, but they won't play. Fabinho's not going to play. Alisson's not going to play. Thiago's probably not going to go because he's not been in the squad lately. Firmino's not been going. Henderson probably won't play.
Firmino's a player, you're right. He's in trouble. I don't think I'll say from now, I don't think he's going. And the amount of talent that's coming through that Brazil team in the Vinicius, the Antonys, the Richarlison, the Hayes. Bro, forget Firmino needs to kiss his thing goodbye. And you would think that's a motivation factor for him to start playing well, but then he's still dropping stink. It's just,
So we're only looking at Jota, Nunes, and Van Dijk, who are going to be played regular. Yeah. So that's not too bad, like for fitness, for injuries as well. It's looking all right at the World Cup, but we still need players in. We still need.
Does Alisson start for Brazil?
Ederson plays, isn't it?
Ederson's ahead. G, what about yourself, man?
I said it before the season. I didn't think we was winning it, so I'm going to go with third or fourth. I think when everyone mentions about like going on, when I mention about going on a run, the thing with going on a run is like usually like that run will start. I know obviously you have to start somewhere, but like I feel like by the time we start that run, I just think there'll be too many teams within their own run. So regardless of the run that we go on, I feel like it won't matter anyway. So yeah, I agree. I do think we can go on a run. I don't think, obviously, we're not as shit as the results suggest. Did you get what I mean? We're still easily one of the top 2-3 teams in the Premier League alone. But until we get bodies in, there's no point, bro. Because imagine if this team that played against Manchester United, let's just say, you know what, forget that. Imagine that squad plays against the next 5 games. I'm not confident how many wins we get in that. Now we're on 8-9 games in the season. Now we're getting a bit lower and lower with how many games we've got left to kind of keep pushing. So, yeah, man, I think it's going to be a tricky one. It's going to be tricky. And I agree with Roms. I think we're going to be third, fourth in that.
Sorry, G, they're on you.
On you. We're going to get
They've followed you, G. They've followed you from the last show and they're hounding you.
Yeah. Who's that? Oh, FLB.
He's got his little cult, you know.
Big up, man. Matthew C.
Big up, Matthew. Big up, Matthew.
Yo, big ups, man. Then big up, G and J. Big up. How you doing, man? Abda saying Pep is the real op. Let's talk about Pep Linders. It's mad. There's no Klopp versus Pep era.
Yeah, actually,
there's a Klopp and Pep era.
Yeah.
Pep Linders. It's Klopp and Pep Linders. It's not. There's not Pep Guardiola's in the conversation.
Yeah, there was a Klopp and Pep. It was in the Bundesliga. That was Pep versus Klopp.
That was fun. That was fun to watch, though.
Fun to watch.
That was genuinely fun. Like that was actually real competition.
Would you even say it was in the Bundesliga? Because when Klopp won the league titles, Pep weren't even there.
Yeah, that's true. Klopp must have nightmares. You know what? Like, think about Klopp. Klopp would be regarded as the greatest manager of all time if it wasn't for Pep.
If it wasn't for Pep, yeah.
Yeah, it's true. You must hate him.
You must.
Yeah, Aman in the chat, big up Aman saying, I'm telling you, man, this season is going to test my love for football. You better fix up quick, especially seeing rivals buy up all the man them. Listen, it's bad. After 2 hours, our gold eras turn into bronze. Jesus Christ. Klopp Dortmund incoming. Yeah, I mean.
Can I ask you three something? Are you three superstitious?
No, I'm not.
I am in some ways. Like, there's things I do, yeah.
Actually, you're right. There are actually certain things I am, but only time I'm asking that because the whole Dortmund 7th year, then he sold Lewandowski, we've just sold Mane. I've just been reading a lot, and all these superstitions are coming up, but they do align. I'm not gonna lie. Sold one of our best players. His 7th year, Dortmund declined. We look like we declined. A lot of things do align.
It's not even a superstition, is it? That's like the proof's in the pudding. Like, literally, that happened at Dortmund.
No. But Ash, where the superstition comes in is, are we going to finish as bad as Dortmund? Because we are at the start of the season still. That's why I'm saying it's not a superstition yet, because our destiny hasn't been, you know what I mean?
Wrong. Imagine, so cool, we're at the start of the season. I fully remember that year that Klopp, like, finished wherever he finished. Like, they were fighting relegation for a minute, and then they started to work their way back up. I remember that season, and I remember at the beginning of the season, everyone was in shock. Because everyone was like, bro, like, Dortmund were a sick team, regardless of whether Lewandowski, whatever that situation was. They were a good team, like, and they were really pushing Bayern Munich at the time. Like, they were the only ones pushing them. When they had that season, you were just like, it was out of nowhere. Nobody saw that coming.
They've never really even recovered when you did.
Not really.
They never really have after that, man. It's mad. Latif, big up Latif.
This is it.
It's in confidence at an all-time low. It is, and I think it's everywhere. I think it's amongst the fans. I think it's the manager. I think Klopp's confidence is shattered as well. To be fair, if you think about it, imagine going 90 points so many times and still not being enough. He must feel to be. I know for a fact. I'd feel myself like I'm not enough. I'm not good enough. I know I'd feel like that. If you keep getting at that intensity, just as we look at the players and we're like, damn, the players can't get up for it. The same thing can be said to Klopp.
You know what it is as well? Go on, Roms. I'll let you know.
Last point, 18 to 19, and the campaign just gone when we lost out on a point. I think I can speak for you three as well. Correct me if I'm wrong. I was exhausted. I feel like you three were exhausted. After, I think, our last game, Wolves, the irony, Wolves both times. Yeah, Wolves both times. After both them games, I slept. I actually napped. Forget watching City lift up, whatnot. I actually went for a nap both times because I was that tired that the season takes a lot out of you. So you're spot on, Jerry. If we're tired as fans, imagine being the manager of it all that. Yeah.
Do you know what it is with this? Do you know when you're driving in the fast lane on the motorway and then someone tries to come up on the inside and overtake you? You're just cruising and you go, nah, I'm not having that. And you put your foot down a little bit. This is what Pep does with Klopp and Liverpool. No matter what we do, when we get close, Pep's just like, right, we'll switch on the gas. And they just stay ahead. Like, they never let us overtake. Once they're ahead, they never let us overtake. Even if we won every game, they'd score more goals anyway.
Just before G goes, let me give you another analogy that's spot on. You know what it's like?
This is what's coming.
It's like offering your friend a chip or a sweet, and they're nearly about to take it, and you just take it away. Like, come close to us. We'll just take up again. They're just teasing us.
That's it.
Teasing us.
I have to agree probably with like what Jerry said, about how like Klopp as well. You got to remember now, obviously this is serious. So obviously with the death of his mother.
Yeah.
During that season kind of thing, rest in peace. Like, I can only imagine like how mentally he would have had to try and get through that in that same season when we were already doing shit that season with all the injuries and whatnot, come back the following season to almost obviously do the quadruple and all of that kind of stuff. Mentally, I agree. He probably is. The whole team just seems like they are just, all right, we're done now, man. Like, we're tired, guys. Like, we need, and remember, preseason wasn't long. We literally just finished the Premier League season like the other day.
Yeah. And the preseason was tough as well. And you think about it, hindsight, is that maybe we did a bit too much because you look at City,
the caliber of teams as well.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, the
caliber of teams. Look at Palace, Leipzig, and United. That.
Yes, it's a bit mad. And then Strasbourg as well, where we got pumped. And to be fair, we got pumped, but we actually had a friendly behind closed doors friendly against Aston Villa that was actually cancelled as a result of the game. So it's mad. It's mad. We know saying I knew that was coming when Jerry started saying he wants a body. Listen, you know me now, innit? You know me.
The analogies and that.
FLBZ edits, big up yourself. Saying, yo guys, how you all doing? And how are you doing, G? AKA Lukaku. How you doing, Lukaku, man?
Whoever FLB is, me and you are beefing the next time I ever see your face.
Klopp burnout in full effect. Yeah, man. Matthew saying, I reckon if we don't get anyone in, we must change form/tactics. Exactly.
To do that now.
So stay tuned, because that's what we're going to get into right now in this show. That's what the show's about. So big up. Make sure to join us. KVJ's in the building. Big up yourself.
Yo.
Cartel Cannavaro, he's on form today, you know.
Yeah, innit?
Butter chicken and garlic naan. Klopp. Jesus, man. I hope you're enjoying it. I'm starving myself. McLovin saying City had every fit last season, and City had everyone fit last season and lost first versus Spurs and dropped points to Southampton and Palace in opening 5 games. Regrouped and put a run of winning games and won by 1 point. Yeah, to be fair, you don't know the difference is with that is that City's performances are never that bad. You never look at City performance and go, oh my God, that's embarrassing. Whereas what we did against United, I mean, getting outrun by United side, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing.
Can we appreciate McLovin's? I don't know if you've done it. The profile picture. Can we appreciate it? Van Dijk's aura.
Is that Van Dijk's aura?
Yeah.
Taking the piss.
Oh my God. Oh my God. You're killing us today. You're killing us. 6 times. Big up 6 times in the building. Phil Bander saying Alisson starts for Brazil, guys. Big up Phil as well, as always. Realism saying, question, why would anyone start a defensive liability right back over ones that are much better suited? We choose our right centre mids or right mids to cover at right back. That's absurd and wasteful. I mean, at the moment, yeah, it's wasteful. When it works, I mean, you're a genius, isn't it? But those are the fine lines in sport. I guess that's the fine lines, isn't it? So when Bobby was dropping deep, we didn't have an issue with it when we were winning games. But now, you know, we'll get onto that. We'll get onto that soon. Yeah, Sui Jr. saying, it is said that Buvac, the brain, created the attacking system in Dortmund. Then Klopp let Linders create our current system and pattern of play. So is Klopp just a very good motivator? I mean, look, in regards to Klopp, I mean, G's mentioned it before about Alex Ferguson and spoke about how Alex Ferguson didn't necessarily hold the training sessions. He wasn't hands-on as such. He was an overseer. And I think you can put Klopp in that bracket. I don't know what you guys think, but Klopp isn't a Pep or an Arteta where he's putting out the cones and doing the sessions and that kind of thing. Klopp's more of an overseer. He looks at how well people are training. You can see it when he goes and, you know, when he goes to the games, he's out there and he's on the field and he's watching the opposition doing the warm-up, trying to intimidate and all that type of thing. It's more of he's the face. He's the one that takes the brunt from the media. He's the one that does everything. But he speaks about himself. He needs the Pep Linderses, the Kravitzes, the Buvacs, and whoever else that are there to go and actually run the operation. He wouldn't be able to do it by himself. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know what you guys think about that. But
it just depends on what you want. Like, do you want a manager who's a bit more hands-on? I mean, if you're as good as Pep or Arteta, I don't know. Like, do you get what I mean? Like, how much motivating does a team need? Like, do you know what I mean? It's one of them catch-22.
Every management's got a team, though. Like, you've got a team around you. Every successful team has a team around them. Klopp was the best, because he was the motivator. He was the ones who psychologically could deal with the different personalities. And then you had Buvac, who was the creative one, and you had Pep Linders, who's probably a good coach on the training field. He's probably a good coach, but he's not the brain. They were a great team until Buvac left, and now we're seeing that.
Yeah, we're seeing it because I guess with anything, once you get into a momentum of everything and you're winning, it just works, doesn't it? And then when it just, once the momentum gets cracked, now you need some substance, and it's not about just going through games and doing repetition, because it probably got to a point with Liverpool where Klopp didn't even have to say anything. Just go out and do the same. And they just did it, and they just did it, and just did it. And it was repetition. So, yeah, Sleepy Forest. Oh, go on.
Big up at Sam, because he said yesterday, Klopp's good at building the house, but you just can't maintain the home. Do you know what I mean? You can build the house, but you can't maintain the home. And that is literally, he hit the nail on the head with that. That is what the Jurgen Klopp is.
Yeah. Sleeping
Every
Forest.
man needs a woman in their life, as they say.
Yeah.
What did you say?
I said every man needs a woman, to make that a home, and clearly he's found his in Pep. But
We're saying Buvac was a better woman. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
boy, I mean, things were popping over there with Buvac, boy. I don't know. Right now, it's a bit dull. It's a bit dull.
I hear you. Sleepy Forest, big up Sleepy Forest. He's saying, look, I'm sorry for my false confidence in this team last week. I was so optimistic. These players spit in my face.
It's okay,
bro. F this fullback-ish. Let the fullback stay on the line and let Diaz and Salah come inside. Rather have crosses and inshallah rather than this shit. You know what?
We've got both. This shit prospered inshallah, so it's even worse.
That's what it is, man. That's what it is.
Big up Sleepy Forest. It takes a big man to big man or women who to come back and admit that. But I loved it because last week you were trying to put your positivity on task, and that's what we want at the end of the day. You want difference in opinion so we can debate. But yeah, we've been saying this for weeks now, man. You just have to look at the team and they'll answer your questions.
Yeah, cool. Well, let's get into it, man. The tactics, the knitting gritties. We got 34 people in the chat, guys. I'm just gonna have a look at the lights as well. Make sure that everyone's paying their dues. We got 35 likes. We got 35 likes so far. So, guys, if we can get to 40 as quick as possible, that would be great. I'm going to be nominating someone. To be the bouncer. Ash was late, so obviously Ash couldn't do it. So we're gonna have to. One of you guys are gonna have to take the mantle. But yeah, I say let's get into it now, man. Cool.
Oi.
G, what do you see, man? Run us through the United bit.
United are in red. Well, 2 goals, possession. We've already started. Possession on 29%.
Can I just stop you there, G? Can I just stop you there?
Please.
That's the exact same possession stats as the Crystal Palace game. The exact same numbers. We had 71, Crystal Palace had 29. It's the same. Sorry, I just had to jump in.
I didn't even clock that. Thank you for even saying. Man United had 12 shots. We had 17. We both had 5 shots on target. Oh, my God. The percentage of Manchester United shots on target was 42. Liverpool was 29. 29. Sorry, man. I'm still kind of like just letting it marinate in my brain.
Yeah, no, but G, but listen to this, yeah. As you're marinating that, do you know what's mad to me? Everyone in the chat, look at this as well. How the hell are United getting 12 shots on target with 29%? With 71%, if that ratio is the same, we should have had about 30 shots.
Yeah. Which
we should have had about 30 shots. That's criminal to allow a team with 29% possession, 12 shots on our goal at 42%.
Oh, I'm loving.
Do you know why? Because it was just one ball killing us every time. That should never happen. One ball just splitting us open every time. It's embarrassing.
Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, so let's go down to Man United attacks. This tells the story.
Interesting.
Very interesting. So as you guys can see, they had 11 attacks down our right-hand side, so their left-hand side. Only 5 down the Robbo side, and then obviously one through the middle. To be honest, that tells the story of the game. Just in a nutshell, that tells you where the danger was for them and where our weakness was for us. Everything it's all there. We can even read through the stats again. You can say whatever. They had 79% pass accuracy, but that Man United, I didn't even know that. That Man United attacks tells me the full story. That is more than double than the other side. Like, that's embarrassing, bro.
But what I find mad though, is how can you keep doing the same thing and expecting different results? This is now the third time we've done this, and it looks like they overload that their left hand side, which is our right. As you can see with number 36 and number 10, that, which is obviously Elanga and Rashford. Look how tucked in Sancho is.
Yeah, look at him.
In the last game, that's the same type of position that Jordan Ayew went and picked up, tucked in. But why is that? Because that left-hand side needs more defensive reinforcement. Because Robbo, for how poor he's been as well, he's not cheating.
Yeah,
that's cheating. Elanga's in line with Rashford.
That's mad.
And what's embarrassing? What's embarrassing is, why is Milner up Firmino's arse in this? Look at Look at United's passing network, right? All spaced, nice even spacing. You can see 4-3-3. What the fuck is Liverpool's? Like, Harvey Elliott sitting on top of Trent. We've got Milner. Who's centre forward? James Milner, Bobby Firmino. What's going
number
on?
11.
Like,
if I didn't know football, I would just assume number 11 was my striker. If I didn't know like Liverpool, I didn't know anything.
And
really
even
about.
then, Salah's not even central. Like,
Bro,
And a quick question, because Trent's starting to get me hot. Like, I was liking the first half an hour of this. I'm just getting pissed off. I'll be real. Have any of you just seen Calvin Ramsey in training pictures or anything? Because I want to see this guy now, man.
Listen, hologram part 2. We were told it's a minor injury, and that's why he hasn't flown out to Thailand or Singapore, wherever it was. Yeah, we come back and he's still nowhere to be seen. I haven't even seen him with a pair of boots on. I can't even tell you what type of right back he is.
Apparently, someone said that they see him in when I was doing a stream earlier. Someone messaged to say that they've seen him. He was in London not too long ago, but he hasn't got no like protective. There you go. I think it might have been you 6 times. I don't know if he was in the live earlier, but someone was basically telling us that they see him in London.
Doing what? Do we have to go? Do you have to go and find him and drive him back?
Bro, this is what I was thinking.
I mean,
but no protective boot though. I'm not hearing that he had anything to suggest that there was something going on.
What's the man just chilling with Dior runners and Balmain jeans, just rolling about London? All right.
Man's in Selfridges. Man's just in Oxford Street, just living.
I'm gonna start going Oxford Street a bit more actually, still, because I'm seeing way too many footballers.
And just put these ballers on blast.
Yeah, I'm putting them on blast. All of them. Can't stand this shit, man.
It's not acceptable. It's not. I'm grilling Sancho for the same thing. Now look, he's scoring against us.
Exactly.
We potentially revived a player's season and a potential other player's career in Rashford and Sancho. It's crazy. It's crazy.
I mean, look, we're looking it down the side as well, and I'm struggling. All right, look, let's move on to the Liverpool side, and Ash, maybe you can help us with this as well. I mean, we're looking at it, and it's like we got 71%. We got all of the ball again. 17.
Sorry. Big up Latif. I don't know if you lot can see us, but go on the big screen. This is him in London. They're not even lying.
Put Rums on the big screen. No.
Yeah, I will do.
Hey, brother, take your sunglasses off and go back to Liverpool, bro. Go back to. Don't be putting no pin location. You know what? Say no more. Who's good at IP addresses?
That's a joke.
Who's good at IP addresses and that? Who can do that IP address for me still?
I know
exactly where that is. That's Piccadilly Circus.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking it was Central. I was somewhere in Central.
Yeah, it's not acceptable. It's not acceptable.
You know what's so mad? I was even there the other day. Let me shut up.
Roms, we will go to Piccadilly. No problem. We'll go.
I mean, look, Ash, we're looking at
Don't
it
look
now.
injured to me.
Like you've said before multiple times,
Let me check.
look, we're still dominating possession. We've got 17 shots. I know we're criticizing the defense, and we will get on the defense. But is there actually a problem with us going forwards as well? Is it not? Is it easy just to go and be like, look, the defense aren't doing the job, Because we're looking at it now, 29%. Like, do you know what I mean, shots on target compared to United's 40. I mean, you're not going to score like that.
Do you know what? Like 87% passing as well. It just shows, doesn't it? Like it doesn't matter what your stats are in a game, because if you looked at these stats, you would think that United got away with the win. You'd think Liverpool should have won the game if you just looked at the stats. But then you look at that positioning. I was back in the midfield and saying the defense were poor. Look at the positioning of that midfield. Look, the right-hand side. How have they got in on the right-hand side when we're overloading the right-hand side? Trent is... I'm done with Trent and defensive duty. Like, Trent defensively, for me, it's embarrassing. Looking at that 11 for United down that side, it's just embarrassing the way that we're moving. But 29% shots on target. We're meant to have the best, most clinical striker or forward, whatever you want to say, in the Premier League. Bobby Firmino, when's the last time he scored a goal? Because I can't, off the top of my head, I can't think. So can we even call Bobby a number 9 anymore? And then Diaz.
Doubtful.
I don't know where the goals are going to come from. It's the same story, though, but I don't want to go back to Sadio Mane because he's gone now. And I know Roms, like you said, he's gone. Let's forget about Mane. No. But Mane must have been so much more clinical than these other guys, because that's all that is missing. The stats are the same. The lineup's more or less the same. But Sadio's not there. He deserves so much more respect than he got at Liverpool Football Club.
So no more wrong. That echo. I have to echo Ash here, because it's like, Jerry, look like, bro. Let me compose myself. So you're looking at Liverpool attacks, yeah? Cool. No problem. Obviously, right-hand side, I kind of expect it because Mo Salah is supposed to be our danger man. Please tell me why I felt in that game he did nothing. I don't even, even when I look at that, and as Ash said, these stats mean nothing anymore, because all it's showing us is our pure and utter deficiency. We cannot score to save our lives, man. I don't know what it is, but we have lost that cutting edge that we used to have. Like, usually I used to think, remember when we had Buvac and we were whipping teams like there was no, and everyone knew when you face Liverpool, this could be a high scoring game or you're going to get pumped. But it's going to be one of those type of games. Now, Jesus Christ, if we score more than 2 goals in a game, I'm actually surprised. I'm genuinely surprised if we score more than 2. How does that, when you've got Salah, Diaz, Firmino?
You know what though, Jerry and Ash here? I'm not going to lie and say I watched the whole game again, but I watched the first half again. And again, straight after match reactions, we're raw of emotion. We're very impulsive. But I'm actually going to cut Salah and Diaz a bit of slack, because yes, they didn't do anything. And I know Jerry's got the figure for Salah later, the slide for Salah showing that misplaced passes and whatnot. But it's because they were trying to create so much from deep. So straight after the game, I was like, what the hell did Salah... Not really Diaz, but we were a bit too harsh on Salah, I think. And if you go back and watch the first half, you will know what I mean. He kept having to drop into position. Similar to Bobby, you know what? Our whole front three had to, because of our midfield being so stable and the inability to create. So the front three felt they had to. I don't feel Salah still did. I felt he could have done more. But because I didn't watch the second half thing because we just got frustrated, because I know we got better in the second half. I went to see where we were at our worst. So I only watched the first 45, rewatched it, and I said to myself, you know what, Salah? You didn't have your best of games. You were still poor, but now I'm reasoning why. That it's kind of making sense. Why? That's one thing I'll say on Salah.
Let's deep this then, yeah? And I do agree with you. I have like mad high expectations when it comes to Salah. So
I know you do.
When I don't see him do certain things, I'm like, bro, I know you're world class, so I need to see world class every day.
Yeah, I
And
hear
you're
that.
being paid. You're being paid respective of that as well now. As well.
Exactly. Listen, I championed for him to get this wage, so I can't have him making me look stupid now that he's been given this wage. Like I was the one saying, if you're gonna get rid of someone, get rid of Mane then and give it to him. So now you're here, I need you to kind of produce. But let's deep this for a sec. And any of you, please, even in the comments, please explain to me, what could Jurgen Klopp have told that front three? And then what was he telling the midfield to do then? Because as we saw, and there was a picture, I'll try and see if I can find it and I'll send it in. There was a picture where one moment when Virgil had the ball, there was no
the midfield empty in it.
Bro, and I saw Henderson more closer to like the left-hand side next to Robbo. So I'm starting to think, hold on, I don't get it. Like, what was Klopp or Pep or whoever? What were they telling them lot to actually do? What were they telling them? That's the bit that was annoying me because, as Rom said, we've reached the stage where Salah, Diaz, Firmino. Bro, look at Firmino, guys. Brother is standing next to Henderson, in line with number 19, who's Harvey Elliott.
But guys, the magic thing is, where's Milner?
Real talk, where's his number?
Oh, Firmino's ass.
Yeah.
You can barely see the number 7.
But that's my point. There's so many instances in the game, and I don't know if it's just by design, and it's a weird one now because with Bobby, you can look at it and be like, and I'm in this camp anyway, and you can say, look, I want him high up the field, that just stay there. Just let the ball come to you, right? But he's not that type of player. He's looking around and Milner's not getting on the ball. It's only Henderson. Elliott's playing like a winger, essentially, because what that looks like to me now, it looks like a 4-3-3 with 10 men and Salah's out the game.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like. It looks like Elliott's the right winger. So he's not actually playing as a midfielder. Everything's geared towards the right side. But we're not creating anything meaningful on the right side.
Just to stop you, Jerry, even if you didn't have that much football knowledge, but you understood positions and formations, even just by looking at this graphic, you can even still see United shape. I know a lot of the game they were defending to add context. You can see, look, they're 4, they're 2 8s, they're 10, and they're 3, and they're all actually in position. Like you can even see it. Crazy.
I really, when you look at that, I mean, it's just one of those ones where it's like, are we serious? Is this serious? Is like, why? How? I mean, look, we're looking here and look, 22 of our attacks come down the right-hand side and we score only 1 goal. And the 1 goal actually doesn't even come from the right. It comes from the left with a deflection.
Yeah.
But it doesn't come from the right.
When you look at this now, you look at the stats, dominated possession, passing, top quality. We created chances. It's shots on target. That's the worrying one. But then who've we got to come in? Nunes. We're literally relying on Nunes to be as clinical as we hope he's going to be. Like, we're all going Thiago, we're all saying midfield. It doesn't matter who we bring in midfield because possession's still going to be the same, pass accuracy is still going to be the same, we'll still create chances. It's down to the forwards. And we're just going to have to hope on Nunes because...
But Ash, this can't be a... Because when Nunes plays, as we've seen in the 2-3 games that he's actually played in, we've seen we've seen how we play when he plays. We've seen it. When he plays, it's Trent gets the ball, hoof, all the time up to him. So I'm even struggling to understand, like, even when he does come back, once that ball doesn't become available anymore, because teams will end up sussing that probably by the time he gets back. Just stop Trent from doing that ball over the top. That's it. We're good to go.
Yeah.
Does that nullify Nunes now? Does that mean that, like, what's his game after that? I don't really know anymore because that's all we were doing when he was playing. Against Palace, all we did was just launch that ball. It's like we couldn't play any football on the floor.
And we're talking about being clinical as well. The 3 gilt-edged chances in the Palace game, who did they fall to? Nunes. What did he do? He couldn't even kick the ball. Like, literally sliced. Every time. Warburtons. Every time.
Yeah,
You know what? The one pattern, I don't know if you don't remember. This is how Dijk were. I can't remember the end of the pattern of play, but I remember the build-up. Do you remember when like Diaz and Elliott did the quick 1-2 and it went out to Salah in the first half?
Yeah.
That's the only pattern of play, but I don't remember how it even ended. That's the only pattern of play I thought we actually stringed 4 quick, high-tempo passes together, and we actually got into a good position, but I can't remember what happened after that.
Do you know what else worries me, Roms, now? When you think of Liverpool, when we were at our best, counter-attack, we were lethal. When we pick the ball up now in transition, we look so slow.
Yes.
Like, Bobby
Very
can't
slow.
get forward. Mo doesn't look like he's got that pace anymore that he used to have.
Yeah,
Like,
I was going to say that.
it's strange. We're just so poor on a counter-attack. We used to be called the Red Arrows. Like, they used to be like, we don't want to play Mane, Firmino, and Salah because as soon as that ball breaks...
Remember that goal against... Remember the counter-attack goal? This is obviously a throwback. Orange kit, counter-attack against, I want to say West Ham.
Bobby with the man bun. Did Bobby have the man bun at this point?
And Ox had a great game. Yeah.
Ox was playing that game, yes. I
remember.
can't remember if Bobby had a man bun that time, but...
Or did he have the... He had the... what was it? The like, emo, the goth her swipe over the face.
I think so. It was in the season that we... I always remember we played Maribor that season. We had an orange kit. But I remember thumping Maribor that year.
It actually went cool. Coutinho wasn't there at that game, but it's actually when we played a 4-2-3-1. It was in the season we got to the Champions League final against Madrid and lost. Yeah.
Exactly.
I remember that game.
That game, like, that was what I wanted to see from Liverpool. Even I know that was a counter-attacking situation. They had a corner, we won it. But everything was just... Like, it was like 2 passes were already by the opponent's goal. There was none of this tippy-tappy, getting your Fabinhos and your Thiagos to caress the ball like clowns. Like, no, it was get the ball as quickly as possible to the best players in the team to score the goals. That's what that's what we need to get back to doing, man. So this football that we're playing now, as you can see here, look, I think we're going to, on Saturday, is it Saturday? Against Bournemouth, we're going to see... If I'm being honest, maybe not in the shots department. I think we'll see more or less a similar statistics. 71%, I think we'll get that. 17 shots, I think we'll get that. It's then about everything on target, etc. But
yeah, I tried to do. I had some technical errors. I'm going to see if I can get them up. But I've actually got some images of our players just lined up on the pitch and how it looked, just stills. And when you see it visually, you can kind of just see the madness going on. And you know, the problem is, it's not by design. And that's the worry with it. If it was by design, you'd see a bit more, the team would look a bit more comfortable in possession. But what you're seeing is that this is just, it's as if the players are running away from the game. And that's the worrying thing. You know what, let me see if I can
add them as an overlay, JJ.
Yeah, I'm going to see if I can add them as an overlay. I think that would be the best way to do it. But it's when you look at it, I mean, it's just like, oh, come on. Like, this is bad. This is bad. There we go. I'm going to do that now for everyone.
You know what just upsets me? Even when we weren't as good as this, there was still a method to the madness. Even when we were playing this gung-ho football, we knew there were so many games. Cool, you're going to score 3, but we're going to score 4. You're going to score 5, but we're going to score 6. There was still a method to it.
Sorry. Why is Firmino in defensive midfield and I'm seeing Milner? And are you getting me like?
Robertson's not even in the frame.
Robbo's left wing.
Okay, he's on left. Okay.
But what it is Robert. Look, I give Robbo a blind because Diaz.
Yeah, Robbo's fine.
He's made the overlap. Made the overlap. That's fine because he needs to make space for Diaz. That's fine. But look, how for them to pick it up. Martinez is there. Is that Martinez or who's that in yellow boots? Whoever that Sancho, whoever that is comfortable. You've also got here. I assume that's Varane at the back.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, closest to the left hand side. He's there covering Robbo anyway. So there's no space. All Diaz has got is a back pass to Van Dijk.
That's
How
it.
can you play out of that? Why is Milner not in that hole?
Yeah.
Exactly.
There's literally
Exactly.
a circle. There's a, why is
Milner
Milner
should
not
be
there?
there.
Why is Bobby not there? Why is Bobby? He doesn't need to be here. That should be Milner. Milner and Bobby should be.
Bro, deep it. Even if you go by lines, Elliot, Henderson, and Milner are all in front of Firmino. That is embarrassing.
Bro, this is what I'm not understanding. Like, they're all in front of him. But Henderson's supposed to be our defensive midfielder that game. He's supposed to be playing the 6, no? Someone needs to be playing the 6. Like, I need someone.
And the
Henderson needs to be in between Elanga and Rashford.
No, but
the centre backs need to be spread. Henderson should be in between the centre backs.
Exactly.
But the worrying thing for me is that
Because then you give Elliot space.
what I mean, but it's not. There's no design. The only pass Diaz has and the only angle is back to Van Dijk or Bobby. Robertson's going to be closed down because Sancho's blocking that passing lane, and then you've got Varane who's going to come out to him anyway. Where are the angles?
Even
Where's
no,
the
but
angles?
even Bobby, even if he plays that ball to Bobby, that's an injury ball. Rashford probably comes into the back of him.
But that's my point. That's my point. So it's like, what are you doing? And we move on to the next one.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Now you've got it.
I mean, look at this. Look at this.
This is embarrassing, bro.
It looks like Salah's up top. Elliot's on the right wing, coming off the line to receive the ball. And Trent's just...
You could throw a blanket over the United players and none of our players would be in it.
But that's fine. But
the middle of the pitch,
no midfield.
No midfield, bro. All it takes now, because... Go on, Jerry.
No. Go on, G.
No, all I was literally going to say is, bro, all it takes, is now let's just say in an ideal world, Van Dijk is able to pick up Trent there on that right-hand side, yeah? So I'm assuming that these guys, in their game plan, he picks out Trent and we are okay. Because the reality is, if we just go by this still image, that looks okay. The problem I'm having now is in that game, we are playing so slow, I feel like he passed it to Gomez. So you've now got an extra pass to have to do, which then closes whoever plays that left wing. I don't know, Elanga? I think it was Elanga. Elanga. He closes Gomez down. Gomez now has to go back because he has no angles to go to Trent now anyway. Trent's out of the game now.
Exactly. And why you're spotting as well, because if that plays out to Gomez, and Gomez even tried to play up to Trent, Malacia is on him straight away.
He's on him straight away. He won't mind Elliot. Like, he'll leave Elliot as almost like a free man.
Yeah.
He'll run to Trent because
Martinez will then pick up Elliot. But Elliot looks like he's dropping deep anyway.
No, but look, what they're doing here, and this is what I mean by design, what they're doing isn't that bad. And what I want people to understand is, from my perspective anyway, although on the eye it looks like, and spot on, G. If Van Dijk needs to go to Trent early, because if he plays to Gomez, by the time Gomez takes a touch, he's got to give it back to Van Dijk, but Van Dijk's going to get pressed by whoever's the number 10 already, so he's going to have to go back to keeper, so it's fair. But what you want, and what City do really well, is the people coming off the lines have the ability to drop off, and you have Gundogan and De Bruyne doing it. So if you look at our 2-8s in this game, Milner and Elliot, they need to be coming off that line into these half spaces to pick up the ball. 100%. But they didn't do it enough. They didn't do it enough. And when they did it, they didn't do it turn and then play like direct forward-thinking passes. It was back out to Trent. Trent gives it back to Gomez. Van Dijk gets it. And it's all possession-based, but it's laboured. Like Milner's got to have the ability, and that's fine. Where Milner and Bobby are, that's fine, because Bobby can arrive in Milner's space as Milner comes into that space ahead of him. You can see him kind of walking towards it. But it's got zipped into him, Van Dijk. He's got to be able to take that pass on the half turn very quickly and be able to slip a Bobby, a Salah in, or whoever. He's got to be able to do that very, very quickly. City do it immensely. But the players that they've got, and this is what I'm talking about, systems, our players are not built for that. There's a reason why Milner is not at City. There's a reason why Elliot is not at City. There's a reason why Hendo's not at City, because they haven't got the ability to go and do that. And it's not a slander in them, because they're different ways of playing football. But right now, it's like we're caught in between. Because and big up whoever, hold on, who said this now here? Big up realism, Jared, because that's fact. Nobody will give us the space anymore to counter. That's suicidal oppositions. That's where adopt a low block. That's what United have done. they've allowed the space in between them, but we can't break down blocks in front of us. So that, and the reason for that is the ability to play in the half spaces. That's what it is. We need space in behind. United are poor at it as well. When United talk about their issues, we've got McTominay and Fred in midfield. We need someone. Bruno doesn't pick up a pass. There's a reason why De Bruyne's, your Gundogan's, these types of players go and play for City. Because when it comes to, look, they might not be better than us on the counter and in transition, but when it comes to playing against low blocks, which teams are now adopting against us, that's the issue there. We see it. Van Dijk's pass on. He's like Elliot's going to drop in, but he hasn't got the ability to take that on the first time turn and play Trent Alexander-Arnold. I know for a fact, if I play football, I ain't got the ability to go and do that. I ain't got do you know what I mean? Like, I'll probably be where Henderson is. I'll be covering that space if I'm playing in midfield. Because that's the type of player I'm. Fabinho's going to do the same thing. Rodri's going to do the same thing. That's why you have your likes of De Bruyne, your Gundogans, your Iniestas, your Javis. Because they can do that.
You know what, Jerry? You lot are going to laugh. I know you're going to laugh, but you're even seeing that City, and obviously Arteta was Pep's number 2, but even Arsenal are doing it really well. I've seen Odegaard can always do it, but I knew you would laugh. I'm even seeing. I said I was gonna get on to me. I'm even seeing.
Odegaard, you're wearing a nice color of red today, Rums.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like this guy is showing man the colors.
It's different, but you're even seeing. I watched them. I'm seeing Partey and Xhaka even taking the ball in a half term and just fizzing it into the Odegaards, the Sakas, the Martinellis as well. We don't have right now with our current players that are fit. We don't have that player. Exactly what you said, Jay, to take it on a half term and literally take a risk, break lines. We don't have that player.
Yeah, and that's the problem, and that's why.
Do you know what though? Sorry to cut you again, Jerry. This is why I know our system doesn't allow him to do it. But this is why I think Carvalho is excellent for this, because he will go against the grain and actually do it. We saw it, because I actually think if he's in that first half, he does that on a half term, and whether it goes wide or directly into the focal point, we don't really have a focal point. But let's say Firmino happened to be in front of him. He will punch that into him and take that risk. Go on, let me see what you can do with it. And this is why against Bournemouth, obviously we're going to get into the preview tomorrow. This is why he has to start for me. Has to.
Do you know what's the most worrying thing? All 4 of us are sat here and we know how to solve the problem for Liverpool. So how?
None of us have UEFA B or UEFA C.
How
the fuck do we know?
Not sat in that, wherever they are, the boot room, wherever they want to go, in the beer keller. Why are they not coming up with a plan to do this? You've just said perfectly. Carvalho came on. He changed the game. Why is Carvalho not playing? Because I'm telling you now, Carvalho won't start the next game.
I think one
that's
thing
just gonna piss me off.
I think one thing that we don't have that they will probably attribute to something that Jerry during his masterclass last week during the tactics ball, when you were talking about the percentages, I feel like that plays such a major part in what we do, that as much as we can sit here and we can see these kind of patterns of play and and understand it to that kind of level, because they play via percentages so much, I feel like a situation like that, like we just saw that in the last image, I don't feel like they're looking at that as a problem. They don't, in my mind, they're looking at that as, if we have to go back to the keeper, we'll go back to the keeper. In some occasions, we might be able to get the ball out to Trent, and then we might be able to do whatever. But
I've had a thought quickly as we're even just talking about it. So it's just, I might be waffling. I actually think there's a reason as to why Klopp's taken Elliot, a right winger, and played him in midfield. Taken a Jones, who played on the left, was very attacking, and played him in a deeper line role of midfield. Naby Keita, we bought. Hasn't worked out, but that's the type of player we bought. Even so far to the point that we actually went against the grain of what Liverpool do and actually signed Thiago. Mm-hmm. These are all the types of players that can go and break the lines. Whether you rate them or not, Jones is someone whose ability on the ball can break lines. He can take that ball on a half turn, and we've seen him do it and come inside and jink in and stuff. Elliot does the same thing, even though there's no end product, and that's still a problem of the system because we still want Trent to be whipping balls in and stuff. they have the ability to go and do it. It might not be to the level of a City, but they do. Naby Keita. We've tried to go and replace what Klopp started, but it's not worked. Klopp started this whole Gengen press and percentages and running around, and we have, do you know what I mean, a functional midfield with Gini, Hendo, Fab, do you know what I mean, Wijnaldum, Milner. That was the midfield, very, very functional. We start to go away from that. Don't know how to implement it to the level of City. So it means we don't break down teams as effectively. But actually now thinking about it, I actually think they've clocked this and they've tried to go and do it. Hence why Hendo didn't start. Hence why there was a period where Hendo didn't play in the 6 anymore. Or when he played in the 8, he was playing in the 8, but it was like, hey, anyway, you're going to be on the bench. Hence why towards the end of the back season, there was actually a couple of games where it was at Milner, also it was Keita and Thiago that played.
Is that not the perfect like proof that they need to change the system? Because they know what they need. It's not working. The only way it will work now with your techie players like Elliott, Carvalho, Jones is just play a double pivot. Do you feel like it's just stubbornness from Klopp? Like, he must know. He must know.
I don't know. When I look at it now, I'm just thinking, I think what happens is that this type of football, and we've seen it, it's not in Klopp's nature. It's not something that he's done. He's always been the manager that plays on a counter. If you look at Mainz, they've done really well against the bigger teams because bigger teams don't give them that respect to the space in behind. You look at Dortmund done really well up to the point they got really, really good, and then teams started to sit back, and then they had the same issue where they couldn't break teams down because they needed space. But against the top teams, they always do really well. You look at Dortmund, even in the Champions League to this day, they do really well against the really good teams a lot of the time because there's space in behind. Haaland, look at a lot of his goals, space in behind. That's the DNA of Klopp. So when he's come into our team and teams don't respect us because we've got Emre Can and Joe Allen and Kolo Touré at the back and all of these types of players, right? It's easy. He comes in and it's like, all right, they're going to give us space in behind. Cool. We're going to play to that. You see that Origi plays really well. And yeah, he comes out of the team, but Origi plays really well. Space in behind is easy for Mane and Salah to play. Mane's first goal, look at that first goal at Arsenal. Yeah. Look at his first goal, space in behind. When has, toward the back end of his career, and yes, he got older, Mane has not scored a goal like that. He has not scored a goal like that. It's running with the ball for ages. You look at that first season, Salah, all of his goals. Arsenal pressing us, space in behind. Him running with the ball, like breaking with the ball, where it's just like, oh, there's space. Now teams don't give you that space. I actually feel Klopp's trying to adjust and change the thing. But what happens? It don't work because he's not that way inclined in his mind. It's like what you said. It's like telling the guy, do you know what I mean, that always has the toilet seat up to put the toilet seat down, and when you do it, you don't see anything wrong with it. So although Klopp, look, he's not an idiot. So of course they're going to go and change that. Pep Linders in his book speaks about, the Liverpool of today isn't the same Liverpool as tomorrow. Cool. But the problem is you're not as good at doing that as City are, which means that you're always going to be lacking.
Cherry, do you think this is why then? I think Liverpool now set traps for teams so they'll come out of defence. That's why we concede so many chances, so many goals, because Liverpool are leaving these spaces so teams will come out and try and get the goals. Maybe they'll play a ball in behind and the team will push out of defence so we can create the space in behind. Do you think that's what they're actually thinking now?
No. I think that's something that they do, and I think it's squeezing the team, it's playing the high line, and it's the risk. I don't think they say, come on to us and we're going to play a low block ourselves and have space. But what they do is play the high line. What are the percentages? If we play the high line really well, there's an 8 out of 10 chance that we're going to get the offside trap right. If we score this amount of percentage of our goals and our chances, even if they go in, we concede those 2 chances, which is that first chance against Palace, or that first chance that Alanga has when he hits the post against United. That's fine, but we can concede that. But if Salah scores and Mane scores and Bobby score, they're going to drop off more deep, and that ball's going to get less and less and less effective. That's what it is. When I'm thinking about now, that's what it is. So it's a tricky one because you're playing that role and they want to go and break teams down. Hence why we bought a Thiago, which when you look at the profile of player, is completely different to what
we normally get.
What's one against the
What's
grain?
mad to me is that we went to try and get these players, and now if you look at the profile of player we're getting, unless we're trying to replace a Fabinho, it's Tchouaméni that can also play in the 8. It's Bellingham that can also play in the 8. It's all these types of players, but Nunes that can play in the 8. But they're not a Thiago-esque. They're not a Gundogan-esque or a De Bruyne. They're very, very industrial. They're like Bayern Munich's midfielders. Correct.
Yeah.
He's that type of profile of midfielder. So it doesn't make sense to me. It's like we're caught in between styles.
Them midfielders are kind of like
You said it right there.
So they, you know what is, Jerry? Them midfielders are kind of like all round. So they can do what the Thiago and De Bruyne do, not to the extent they do it, but they can do a bit of that, but then also do the industrial stuff. That's what we're doing here with them type of players.
You just said it there, bro. We're caught between old style and potential new style. So I'll ask you three then, or I'll ask people in the chat. If we're caught between the two styles, where do you go? And what do you do? Do you either go back to the old style, or do you try and make this new style, which is, I don't care which style you go for, but it seems like we have half players who can do this and half players who can do that, but they can't all do everything. So either we get players who can do the new style, or we just get players who can only do the old style. And they can perfect that because they're great at that, but not so good at Pep Guardiola.
That's what I was just about to say, G. If we go to the old style, we then need to get the personnel too. That can do the old style.
Problem is,
which we're not going to.
But no, go on, Roms. But you're facts. But the problem is, we need personnel for both. Because the old style, and I talk about the percentages, they can't run at the same length. We're seeing Milner and we've seen him try hard. He's probably trying harder than he has before. We're seeing him. He's getting mad at Verge. You're seeing it. You're seeing it. I can't fault Milner for his effort. I can't fault Hendo for his effort. I can't.
Yeah.
But the level at which they're doing it, if they drop off by 2%, it means they're less effective than they were. And it's small margins in football. So you either go with the new style, but you have to go all out. And this is something that should have been in the works for ages. I actually think it was in the works, but Naby Keita hasn't worked. And I think Klopp's got an issue with when things don't go our way, or he finds
back to what we know.
He goes back to what we know, and he's like, we're going to go run out intensity, bomb, bomb, bomb. Great example. When we played Barca in the Champions League, in the first leg, we played really well, right? We were the better team. We dominated possession against. We actually had a lot of possession compared to what Barca usually have. We had a lot. We had about 50-2%.
Yeah, we did.
Don't hold my word on it, but I'm pretty sure it was something in that region.
It was a lot.
There was even a stat. We were like the first team in like 18 months to have more possession than Barca. Like prior to the at the new camp.
So we've done that, right? And what happens? We lose that game 3-0. Now I'm telling you now. A Pep Guardiola, a this, a that would have tried to do the same thing and said, no, we're sticking to our principles. We've seen it. I'm not moving away from our principles. We're not doing it. But guess what Klopp did? And guess what Pep Linders did? Intensity. You look at 52%
possession.
That word's going to make me sick.
And look how he speaks about it. He's like, intensity. We've got to get out and press. Hendo was a pressing monster because he got out and he was just everywhere. And that's what happened. And that's Klopp's DNA. That's getting that motivation. That's how he got out of the percentage. And yes, of course it does work. But over the course of a season, that's where you drop the points. Because when you look at it, coaching and talent will always override hard work and intensity. It just does. When you look at how a Guardiola coaches and stuff, like Sterling wouldn't have been the same Sterling if he had been at Klopp. He might have got more numbers. Yes, he might have. But he wouldn't have been the same player. He wouldn't have been able to go to City and Chelsea and play how he's playing at Chelsea now. His all-round game wouldn't have been developed. Now, that's just two different styles, in my opinion. But when I'm just thinking now. But as I was thinking, I was
keep.
Like literally, when you think about it, we tried to get Keita to replace Henderson, replace that industrious type of midfielder. It didn't work. What happened? Keita just became another industrious midfielder. We played Jones there. For whatever reason, Jones didn't work, right? You become more industrious.
You're actually spot on. He actually has tried. He actually has.
Play Elliott there. Let's play Elliott there. He's a bit more creative. He's a winger. But he's got the ability. He's more technical than a Salah. So play him in midfield. It becomes a bit more industrious. And that's what's happening, and we're seeing it. And the problem is we're reverting to type every time anything goes too hard. Pep Linders and Klopp, as soon as things get rocky, it's moving to that system. It's very difficult. It's not in their DNA. Their DNA.
Do you know what? Do you think that's the difference? When Man City, they've got so much variety and different personnel when you look at the midfield, but they know, for example, if Bernardo Silva's playing at right central midfield, they play a different style to when Gundogan's playing at right central midfield or when Kevin De Bruyne is playing. They change the way they play at times based on the players that they've got on the field. Whereas Liverpool play the same way all the time, and the players on the field try to change the way they play to fit into Liverpool's system.
That's where, and you hit the nail on the head, that's where Pep's a genius. That's why he only signs a certain profile of player. You have to be technically sound. There's no player, I'm trying to think off the top of my head, there's no player in that City team that isn't technically sound. There's none. Yeah. Because exactly what you just said, if they change formation or whatnot, they still have the same type of player that can adapt. Where if we want to change type of formation, we don't have the exact same type of player that can then adapt to the formation also.
Yeah. Because if you think, why do they chop and change so much every game? That's why nobody can predict how to play against Man City, because one game you've got Mahrez, the next game you've got Bernardo Silva. They're playing completely different. The next game you might have Foden. Nobody knows who's going to play left, right, striker, central midfield, attacking midfield. You don't even know if they're playing 4-3-3, 3-5. It's mad.
What were we saying on Premier earlier on, trying to pick a fantasy, like the fantasy team? We were literally sitting there thinking, is Mahrez going to play? He came on for 2 minutes against West Ham. He played another game, but then he gets dropped the next game. Gundogan starts a game, doesn't start the next. What? But these players just click into gear when they come in. There isn't even, you don't even notice that they've been out.
Pep said something along the lines of, in the post-match interview, we were missing Mahrez and Grealish against Newcastle because he said something along the lines, we were missing Mahrez and Grealish because we were too direct. Because you know Pep doesn't normally like players to be too direct, and if you are, the Ferrans, the Sanes, you normally come out. But he's in this actual game, that's what we did a bit too much. We needed the Grealish and the Mahrez to come inside to kind of slow down play. So that's why the Cities, because you're right, Ash, you know, when they do change formation or whatnot, sometimes they will concede maybe that extra goal, or you may think to the eye City are playing worse or they're conceding more. And realistically, they've only dropped off a bit, but they'll still get a result due to the plays due to the plays that can adapt to the system easier. But like you said, we don't. The things when you're gonna change the system and the formation, you then need the ability to do that, and players are accustomed to one way. And it's crazy.
And I mean, quick one before we move on, because we've got quite a bit of this tactic to go through as well. We don't want to go on for too long, guys. Obviously, Jamie Phillips saying, look, Pep can afford to buy that type of player, though. Klopp can't. That's the problem. I mean, you say that, but Calvin Phillips went 146 million. He went Bellingham.
Big up Jamie. And you know what? Just to rebuttal that, big up Jamie Phillips football chat. By the way, make sure you're going over that and striving. But just to rebuttal that, Jamie, you got Paqueta that's about to go to West Ham for 35 million. You got Tielemans sitting there for 60 million. You had Nunes that's just gone to Wolves for 43 million. These are within our model. These aren't mad prices for midfielders. If anything, they're bargains. So I don't know how much I agree with that, Jamie, man. We can. It's just too stubborn.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's what it is. And look, quick one before we go and obviously move on as well, just to go and show you guys. Big up Ashley for grabbing this. As you can see here, Liverpool. Look at that. Look at that at the new camp.
It's mad to think we lost 3-0.
At the new camp, covered more distance than them, completed more passes than them, more passes attempted. Our accuracy was more or less the same, and you can give away that 3%. Do you know what I mean? Considering you got 52% possession and you're away at the new camp, probably the hardest ground. Do you know what I mean? If along with Liverpool and a couple others in the Champions League.
Where's that Liverpool gone? Where have we gone?
But that's my point. When you're fighting and you're at that effective level, like, do you know what I mean? Like running stats and the percentages are high. That's exactly what you get. Now, Let me see if I can just add this into the stream again. Cool. Let's move on. Trent.
Where do we even start? Someone else start, because if I do, I'm gonna get mad.
Roms, you want to take this one?
Roms, you're gonna have to start this one.
Right. I want to go go through the glaring one, the elephant in the room, right? His pass accuracy, regarding his passing accuracy, he was Liverpool ranked 14th. That means he was worse than the subs. Players that played less had better passing accuracy than him. That's absurd. That is literally absurd. And you see from what the red on my screen, it's a bit. The red passes are the misplaced passes, aren't they?
Yeah.
This just shows he was forcing things. He was spamming things. There's some even going off the pitch. I don't even know how to.
Like I said, we're looking at it now, and I mean, to be fair, you can't play 97 minutes of football and end up with 72% passing accuracy. But guess what? You're 14th in the Liverpool team. So
I was just about to say, the percentage isn't my issue. I don't care if it was 10%.
So 3 subs and a better percentage. And when you're looking at it now, and it's like your attacking actions, everything's just with the ball. Like considering what a right back is, and we're looking at it, how can you go and have one successful progressive run?
One player.
One. And you're playing on the wing. One. You go here and you got, I mean,
one clearance. That should have been 2 or 3. There was a couple of times.
One successful dribble.
No, but you know what's worrying? The fact his one clearance, he was second in the rank. That means hardly anyone else was clearing.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at them, Roms. I'm looking at some of these
that's
thinking
crazy.
Second, third, fourth, second.
But I'm only seeing 2 progressive runs.
But he's still ranking high up in the Liverpool squad. Like, that's what's worrying me. When you look at interceptions as well, this is one that I've always big Trent up on, is interceptions. But do you think that's because I bet if you pull the interceptions up for the season, Trent will be the highest. He always is for Liverpool. Do you think that's because he's never in the right position, so he's always got to try and intercept the ball? Otherwise, he just looks stupid. Like,
and when you think about it, we've got 72% possession. You come up against a team that has more possession. A team that's got maybe 40%. How many interceptions is he going to make then? It might be less, and we might actually concede more. Think about it. We've lost the game with having more of the ball. We've had 70% of the ball. If I went and told anyone, guys, we've got 70% of the ball, 70%. If I gave any manager that they're taking it, imagine you went and told Crystal Palace you're going to have 70% of the ball. They think they've won the game before any other stat.
Facts.
What I'm not really understanding here, and I just had to look at the with the drawing, the third picture with the attacking actions. Yeah, obviously it shows us his successful progressive runs. So he only had progressive runs. He only had 2. So what I'm trying to understand is, what's his role? I don't get it, because he's supposed to be the right back that gets
spam
up and down.
Just to put them in.
No, but what he's doing is that he's receiving the ball and he's not linking play. He's not going on an overlap a la what's it called? One second, this caption that bite me up. Wagwan. Not like what I'm saying about Klopp, no? And Trent. All right. Anyway, as I was saying, he's not doing play with Danny Alves-esque or Walker, whether they're in 1-2s, going into the byline, whipping balls in. Like
he ain't got that kind of pace.
Getting the ball and spamming crosses. And you're seeing them. It's all right to left, just long.
Yeah,
ball.
right to left.
Do you know what, Do you know what you know?
And they're all quite long. Yeah, you're right.
Against Palace and Fulham, I still don't agree with spamming all the time, but I can hear it. There's a focal point. There's someone who we've brought in to kind of hold up and whatnot. But in this game, knowing we've got a Bobby that's on the decline and that's going to drop in, who are you spamming these to? Because I know you're trying to force a lot to Salah and Diaz, seeing that they're both being doubled up on, which for me, you just have to use your common sense there. And to know we didn't have that clear focal point, it was stupid from Trent. Maybe that was the instruction, who knows, but it was still stupid.
No, but
The thing-
go
what I
on.
wanna- no, like obviously we spoke. Rom's mentioned it before, and I agree. I probably was a little bit harsh on say Salah and Diaz. So fair enough. As you guys have said, obviously with Bobby dropping so deep and the midfield being non-existent, etc., etc. We're seeing these passes, brother. Who are you passing the ball to? Who's there?
I mean, look,
Because look at some of these passes, bro. Then, as we said, they're right to left. So left hand side is going to be Diaz or
Right.
whoever else is going to be there.
Guess what? Let's just go back then, yeah, so I can show you guys. Look at the positioning. Diaz isn't even where the ball's going.
But this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm confused, bro.
It's just into space. And what I've got the problem with, and like, look, Roms, you're right. When you're spamming crosses and you've got a Diaz there, I guess that's fine because you've got a focal point and that makes sense. The only problem is you can't do that when you've got possession, because you having possession, if a team's got possession, what's their main threat? The main threat is the counter. So you don't give away possession. You can't give away possession. If you haven't got the ball, yes, you can take that risk and you can take that chance. You can play that ball into space, like United.
That's what the opposition are doing to us.
Exactly, like what United did. You can play that long ball. You saw it. You just turn and hit space. Bruno Fernandes just hit space.
The Corey and Eze to Zaha. A minute there on a half time, you could just play that ball straight away because it's gone.
Just play it in behind. That's fine. You can't do that when you've got possession of the ball.
Do you know what the problem?
I've never seen Daniel. Look, we're having more and more possession of the ball. You're talking 70% now. 70%. Yeah. Have you ever seen Dani Alves start spamming crosses like this when they've got possession of the ball? And when you talk about possession football, that's the best example to look at.
Do you know what it is with Trent? And I've noticed this a few times. When he starts the game, he plays that one kind of long ball, or one of those miracle balls. And when it doesn't work, he forces it every time because he thinks he's got to make up for the one he's just done. Instead of having a mature head on your and this is why I don't want Trent to be captain of Liverpool. I don't want to see him as captain because he always wants to try and make up for what he's not done by doing the same thing the next time. Instead of just going, do you know what? Let's play the simple things. Most people would go, that ball's probably not on today then, so I'm gonna advert to something else. I'm gonna try and play the ball in the middle, 1-2s. I'm gonna get around Salah, try and cut balls back. Trent always, when he plays a bad long ball, tries the next time and swazzes that one. Tries again. And that's why the percentage is so low, because he's forcing this one ball to make up for the bad balls he's made prior to that. And it frustrates me every single time when there's easy passes on to build play up again. Frustrates me.
Yeah, it's mad. I mean, let's go to that right hand side again. And I thought would be interesting to look at as well. And it's the main man, Mo Salah. I mean, this is the player that we've pumped 400k into.
What are those passes, by the way?
Bro, the passes are making me laugh.
Passes all game.
Like I said, off stream, cool. He was poor. Even if we had to do a rating, I'm probably giving him a 3/4. Like, he was poor, right? But like I said, when I went back and rewatched that first half, I'm actually looking at him thinking, you're actually trying stuff out of nothing. You're literally trying. You're trying to create something out of nothing, and that's where I had a bit of sympathy for him. But because look, even when you look at them, a lot of them were, you can say they weren't productive, but a lot of them were successful. What I can count 1,
100%. Yeah,
3,
there
4,
more
5,
successful.
6. Yeah, about 6 were misplaced, and more of them, more or less, more
it's
74% though again.
No, it's 74%, and it's 13th in the Liverpool rank. That's not good enough. Yeah. You played the whole game. I hear what you guys are saying. It's
but
not.
Then that shows Jerry. To counter that though, I'm sorry. This is where I get pissed off with the Hendos and the Elliots and the Milners, because they're just playing safe. Then cool, I get that. This is why graphics can't tell the whole story, because I get that, Jerry. He's 13th place and we've had 74%, but he's taking risks. He's taking risks.
1 second, Roms. 1 second. Is there any bots in here? Because this needs to just, yeah.
I was just saying that. Then.
Yeah.
I've literally just sent that message.
You know how to block them. I think
It's done. But yeah, like guys, any mods in here, please assemble and just delete that nonsense. I'm not gonna have.
Do you know what else is worrying about this? Do you think? I'll ask you all a question now.
Sorry to cut you.
No, go on.
You should make like the regulars, KZ, Assad. You should make them mods.
Yeah, they are.
Oh, calm. Because they're the trustworthy one.
Yeah, what I was saying is, do you think you look at successful dribbles first and you think, oh, that's good, like Mo's trying to make. Do you think Mo holds onto the ball too much? Sometimes it's just like, give the ball, do what you do best. One touch, spinning behind, because Malacia was just on him.
Yeah.
There's no point trying to dribble because Malacia is just on you.
Ash, I think I would have said that's something Mo used to do. If anything, I think in recent time he's playing hot potato. I see him release it maybe a bit too quick now. That's just.
It's like Romsey, literally exactly what you just said. But what if we kept saying, why is it the first game of the season? What was one of the first things I said about Salah coming up against that left back? What was one of the first? He ain't winning that. He ain't winning that duel.
Yeah.
That's a duel. He ain't winning. Malacia, I knew for a fact Salah would not win that duel. That was obvious. So for me, and I love Salah. He's my favorite player. But in certain games against left backs, this is why I feel we need cover on that right hand side. Salah can't do what he used to do, as Jerry alluded to in his first season, how his goals were and things. He can't do that no more. He can't do that as consistently as he used to be able to, purely because he's older. His pace is not the same. He's gone. You can tell he's a little bit slower, probably just as strong, but he's just lost a yard of pace. And that yard of pace, I'm actually noticing it in games because of how quick he is. Whether that helped him towards playing against these left backs, I don't know. But we're seeing it more and more and more and more. Salah against these type of left backs, it doesn't work. He becomes so ineffective that it's almost like, why are you even playing? Maybe we need to potentially have a different type of right winger against these type of left backs.
Do you think that now is because Trent is spamming these crosses from deep, like he's playing the long balls, whereas before Hendo, in fact, it used to be Hendo. Hendo used to switch to the right and overlap Salah. So we would draw in the left back. Salah could drift inside. Trent used to slot into midfield. And we used to create this triangle that used to work. But now, Trent's picking the ball up and he's just putting a long ball in, putting a long cross in. So now the left back is just thinking, do you know what? I can stick on Mo now.
No, but the problem you've got there is that I think the reason why it's easy to defend is because what no winger wants to do, and Roms can attest to this, is if your fullback's going in behind and getting to the byline, a la a Walker, a la a Klein when you used to have him, a la a Robbo that gets to the byline. No winger wants to do it. If you go back to the graphic, there's a reason why Sancho's tucked in. If even any graphic, there's a reason why Sancho's tucked in. When Trent comes into the middle, if you've got no real width, and we're talking about Salah now, Salah has to keep his width, because everything comes too narrow. And if Trent comes into the middle, it's easy to pick up.
Yeah.
Endo used to have that width though, didn't it?
All the winger does is just drop off.
You just get more compact, and it's just hard to break through. You need that width, because what would essentially happen, like Jerry said, that's wing is the position I play. If I'm hugging the touchline, their fullback has to come out of me. He's stuck in two minds. He can't just commit to the Trent. He will have to come out of me, which then creates, which we don't do enough, which will then give Trent maybe the area to get a shot off, or maybe a diags. So you always want that width. But when both Trent and Salah are coming narrow, it's just easy for United. They're just thinking, let's just keep shape. What are they going to do? And that's why we then start passing sideways and backwards.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like Trent.
Gary, go back to the first line. Trent and Mo now, they're still doing the same thing they used to, but Hendo now, the right central midfielder, when Elliott's playing, they're not drifting out to the right, like you've just said. That occupies the left back. That used to happen so much. Yeah. Hendo, I remember last season, I used to watch it and go, whoa, Hendo's on that right hand side. Hendo used to always getting crosses in one-on-one with the left back. But now,
it's like Hendo's playing 6, Elliot's playing in that pocket, and Elliot doesn't know what to do. It's like there's no chemistry between those three.
Elliot's left-footed.
Left-footed, exactly.
Elliot's not going to get to the byline and whip across.
Yeah. That's why Hendo's more effective.
So do you think then
that's when you go to your that's when you go to your childhood advice. Work on your week.
The thing is, us left footers, we don't really like working on our right foot. It's a weird thing.
Klopp came out the other day and was like, "Wow!" Remember before the United game, he came out and was, "Wow." Trent, has a Salah's got a secret weapon now. Salah's got a secret weapon. He went on holiday and came back with a right foot. This is what Klopp told us, and that's the reason why.
We've now learned whatever Klopp says, it's the opposite. So if you say
I was going to say yes.
G, I've never deeped that before. G, I'm thinking of left footers now. You really don't like using that right foot.
Oh, I hate it. Do not put me on my right-hand side because I will embarrass myself and I will do everything I can.
It's a fact. The best strikers of the ball are normally left-footed players, but they cannot use their right. Look, a lot of the best ever, like the Maradona's, Maradona's right.
Adriano, think how he used to put his foot through the ball.
But yeah, the Robins, the Messis, the Maradonas.
Hey, leave us alone, man, because we do our thing and we're kind of techie in the way that we do our thing, man. Like, you guys ain't complaining when you see Robin cutting and he's whipping the ball. I don't hear anyone complaining.
How many times did teams know Iron Robin was going to do that? You just couldn't stop it.
You couldn't stop it.
It's the same with southpaws in boxing. In boxing, nobody wants to go up against a southpaw.
It's awkward. That's what it is. It's awkward. Where you're used to putting your body position in a certain way, you've got to do it with a left foot, and that's the problem.
You got to remember, I've trained so long as Jerry said, I've trained my whole life in putting myself in positions so that when the ball comes across or if someone plays a ball over the top, so that I can take that shot, so I can beat a man or whatever. To then try and get me to do it on my right-hand side, I'm like, nah, man, I've taken a long time to learn it on this side. Do you get what I mean? And this side is almost perfect. So,
Ricky, guys, just some housekeeping before we go. Amazing. We're on 63 likes, guys. 63 likes. So if we can get to, I'm gonna be cheeky. If we can get to 80 likes, that would be crazy. That would be a record.
Massive.
So big up. But in regards to Salah, I think when you look at what City's wingers do, and I think I mentioned it is in the actual title, is when Salah's role has changed a bit, and the reason is that in order to create space, we've actually traded Salah coming inside to create width and allow Trent that pocket to go and play those balls. The problem is it's not working. It's not working at the moment. It's not working because if you're looking at Salah, a lot of his positions here, although he's coming inside, a lot of the time the assist to Núñez with his right foot out wide. But back in the day, you'd see him right here in that pocket. And of course, he's still going to get in there. But you compare it to like a Mahrez or a Grealish, they stay really, really wide. They're getting the ball, do you know what I mean, on the touchline. Really, really wide. They're not, but the problem is we're not reliant on them to score the goals. And the issue we've got now is that Núñez isn't a guaranteed goal scorer, even though he scored goals. Jota's out injured, so it's really just, and Diaz, we know about Diaz. So it's just Salah. Yeah. So
you know what? Obviously, we're going to do the Bournemouth preview, but they've been playing a three at the back this season. And again, what Salah's problem is going to be again against Bournemouth, they've got that young fullback, I think, Kelly. Pace again.
He plays centre back now.
Three in the back, but
the left side, yeah.
Left side, yeah. So Salah will come, and they've got actually my boy's cousin. They've got Zamora as well.
Yeah.
Bournemouth. He's not even quiet. He's very rapid. So if Kelly and Zamora work together on Salah again, it's going to nullify him running in behind or whatnot. He's going to have to keep playing inside. Yeah. But it's another. I actually feel when you actually deep the Prem, most teams now have that quick fullback. You rarely get fullback. I think the modern day fullback has to be fast, and this is why for us, Trent's not the quickest. So this is why teams will target him. Yeah. But the majority of Prem teams have that quick fullback, and it could be tricky days for Salah. I'm still backing to score a lot of goals, whatnot, but we're gonna have to change something because you rarely get a slow fullback in the Prem anymore. Because we've already seen it. Robertson, Mitchell, and now Malacia all had him locked up. All of them. And against Bournemouth, he's gonna come up against another two pacey, let's say wing back / left centre backs.
I still think we need to be buying a different type. And I think I was saying this to Ash the other day is we need something different that isn't exactly the same. So, for example, I don't want to get another Mo Salah to come off the bench because I'm just like, you're just replacing one like for like. I don't need like for like.
We spoke about it early when we had the transfer hub running back when we were signing players. Do you know what I mean? And we're linked.
Oh, the good days.
I had to scrap that. We spoke about Danjuma. We spoke about it.
Yeah,
that would be cheap. That could go and give us something different and give us some productivity.
Yes.
Anthony would be obviously he's on his way to the scum, but Anthony would be perfect.
The scum.
Yeah, but it's mad.
I don't know.
The last one, guys. It's not in depth, but I thought I'd put this together. Virgil van Dijk. Ash, tell us how Virgil's feeling, because I know obviously you're in his closet right now. I don't know what you're doing in there, but
do you know what? I don't know. I don't even know what. Like, it's just strange how Virgil's being at the minute. Like, this isn't Virgil van Dijk. This isn't Rolls Royce. This is Ford pickup. This is like, what was he doing in the middle? He was giving it I don't even know what to say about Virgil van Dijk because I didn't want to say his name today. I didn't want to say his name today on the previous show because I love Virgil so much for everything that he's done for Liverpool Football Club, the greatest centre-back we've ever had. But right now, it's like Maguire territory the way he's performing. He's performing poor. I'd say he's our worst player at the minute.
Look at his tackles attempted, 4. Successful 2. He's had 2 fouls made. I find that hilarious. I actually find that hilarious considering who he's up against.
It's just...
I mean, look, we're gonna...
One
second. KZ, I haven't received it, so just DM again. If you're saying Twitter, just DM again and I'll try to post that. But go on, Rob. Sorry.
I'm not trying to make this funny or banner, but you know how there's that light skin stigma, I saw a tweet.
I think I saw the same tweet.
It said, whenever the team's about to attack Van Dijk, he bats his lip.
Is that what we're doing?
That's so dumb. That is so dumb.
First. That's calm rooms.
I need to stay off this app after losses,
Jay is gone, boy.
Oh, did you leave? He actually fully left. I was thinking, like, why did I become the first one? Like, guys, obviously. KZ, by the way, he sent you a message. He said,
"Yeah."
Do you not think this is how bad Virgil is? Like, nobody's got anything to say. Like, with none of us.
When you pulled up that stat, all of those stats there, nothing was like that stat that Jerry just pulled up there for Virgil. There's nothing in there. Like, there's nothing for us.
Put it up one more time, Jerry. Put it up one more time.
Put what up?
The Virgil stat.
Yeah, I will do. Yeah, sorry. Let me put that up. Where is it? There we go. Yeah, as you guys, go on. Someone run through this. I mean, Ash, you know what? You're going to run through it for us. I know he's your favorite player. He's my favorite player as well, but I'm getting grilled.
What? So. Right, let's start with passing then. No assists, no expected assists.
This is for the whole season, by the way, so far.
This is for the season.
Oh, this is the whole season.
What do I have to say? Even that's embarrassing. In
4 tackles. attempted.
Are you serious? Are you serious, Joe? This is the whole
I think
thing.
it's just scored a one.
Right.
I've even
Four
got, listen,
tackles.
no one at me. I've put the source in there as well and everything. So if no one believes me, check it for yourself.
Was
No,
this
no,
what
you
K-
know I believe you. You know.
This is what KZ sent you. Big up KZ.
Yeah, 2 successful tackles all season.
Hold on.
As a centre back, right, that has been so exposed. This is my biggest bugbear with Van Dijk at the minute. I'm sick of this just drift. He's scared of being done up. That's what it is. Virgil is scared of getting beat. He's scared of people doing a Mitrovic to him. 2 successful tackles, 4 attempts. It's not even a successful one. It's the attempted. Oh my days.
Yo. This is what it's come to, you know. This is what it has come to for Virgil. Yeah, Virgil, you're going down bad, rude boy. Oh my days.
Oh my God, what happened to Virgil?
That is disrespectful at the highest. Oh,
And look, you just smiling at us.
no, it's not even carnival yet.
Big up Crunking. It's not even carnival yet.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh,
there's
man.
a few things I want to dissect from this year.
But
XG
which
is
one?
worrying me.
This one or the other image?
No,
I don't know which
no,
image
no.
that's
I was gonna say, which image are you trying to dissect, bro?
The one we can all currently see, this one with the stats. But the XG is worrying me, and even the shots and shots on target. Because one thing I'd say we're good at, we've been known to be good at. I think we were in the top 3 teams for scoring from set pieces. Virgil normally gets ahead or whatnot. The fact he's not even had a chance where he could nearly have scored in our first 3 games, worrying.
When did he last score, actually, Roms? When did he last
That's a
get
good
a goal?
question.
I ain't seen this in celebration in time. I haven't seen it in
Yeah.
time. I saw
It's
Gabriel
genius,
doing it before Virgil.
Was it
How about
Palace?
Arsenal.
That's what I was thinking. Palace last season.
That's
That was in January. It might have been Palace. Help us out in the comments, but it might have been Palace.
that's poor. I mean, I'm
Virgil's
looking
not
at
really
it.
a threat,
But
though.
just
Don't you
to
guys
carry
realise?
on, just
Sorry,
to
carry
carry on as well, completed passes, 86%. That's very good, but that also shows me a lot of them are just the 5-yarders. He's not doing the diags that he normally does. He's not doing that long pass we know he can do. And you know one thing I'll say with Virgil, you know when we're saying tackle success, it's quite low. One of the main thing we know Virg for is his composure. That's what he got lauded for. Like the clip that epitomized him. Remember against Tottenham and Sissoko and Son are doing that.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of centre back in the past that can even deal with that situation as well as he did. So we laud him on his composure, but now you have to go against the grain because some Liverpool fans were saying Virg. Why am I being kind? Top Reds were saying Virg wasn't at fault for the Sancho goal, but you are because they're like 1 minute we can't give him plaudits for his composure, and the minute he's not trying to tackle and whatnot, you're cussing him. But it's like sometimes in a game, and you all know this, Jay, you all know this, G. It's some things are done by instinct. You know, Milner's just been put on his ass. Commit, just go to him, impose yourself, make yourself a bit bigger. But
problem is with Virgil, is that that's not his instinct. His defending is very different. His defending is ushering players, but the problem is the fact that we're playing the way we are, and we can know the way we are. He has to now dive at balls, and you're expecting that from him. Like right now, O'Connor Cody would probably be better suited, or Tarkovsky would have been better suited for the situation that we're in now. Because they're going to throw their body. That's why Gomez done really well. That's why Gomez, if you're talking about clearances, and sorry, I haven't got the stats for him, but I was looking at them, and his stats were much, much better just for that game compared to Virg across the season. And the reason is because he was rushing out, he was getting the ball, and it does leave you exposed. But unfortunately, the chances we can see, we need that from you now. We need you slide tackling and getting the ball. Do you know what I mean? It can't be ushering in.
Jerry, just to counter that, I personally don't agree with this, but this is from his personal standpoint. Big up Realism Jared, because he said VVD going through the motions, wants to make sure he doesn't get injured, wants to play in his first tournament. This won't even be his first World Cup. This is going to be his first major in in general. And let's be honest, after this,
and his last.
No. Second, I was going to say you have one more after this. You'll probably go to the Euros. He'll have the Euros.
Yeah. How was it? Last World Cup. He won't be.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Sorry, this will be his last World Cup, but his second to last like major tournament, and it's his first. So he's probably thinking, I don't want to get injured. But from a fan point of view, we want him to give your all for the team.
And the thing is, we don't understand that either. With some of these, obviously, people like to say, playing for your internationals, blah, blah, blah. But for some players, this is a big thing, like World Cup. That we already know World Cup is the biggest tournament out there in football. For some of these players, bro, subconsciously, I genuinely believe he is thinking that.
And you know what probably heightened that as well. He received the news from his best friend, one of his good friends, Ronaldo, 2-3 hours before the game that he's done his knee. So he's probably thinking, I'm gonna be even more cautious. I don't want that to be me, because to have your first major at 31 for a team historically that I'm not gonna say
could do well as well.
But they get to the last stage. I'm not going to say they do well because I don't think they've won a World Cup.
No, they've not won.
1 Euro.
Euro. Yeah.
I don't think they've won a Euro, have they?
I don't think they've won any major.
So Bergkamp, Cruyff, and them man ain't won a Euro.
No.
I'm saying it like they're all in the same era.
Or they may have won, but I can't remember. I know. Holland's only got 1 Euro, if not none. But he's probably thinking, 1 minute, my team that. I'm in a nation that historically do well, not winning, but get to the latter stages. Basically a Liverpool of the international scene. Yeah. And he's 30, 31 is going to be his first. And you could argue maybe would you not say he could play another World Cup? He'll be 34, 35.
He's only won 1 Euro.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It could potentially be his last. Think about it. If that happens, and then what? He's 35, maybe he's going on 36. I mean, it's not beyond the realms of possibility to say that he won't be the first. Do you know what I mean?
I knew they won. I had a feeling.
Yeah, I had a feeling. Aaron as well.
That was with Van Basten and that, I think.
Yeah, big up LFC Aaron. But
big up Aaron.
But yeah, see, 1 Euro. That's it. Holland. Check out.
Yeah, I had a feeling.
I thought so. That's Van Basten. I was thinking someone must have won it.
Van Basten got ridiculous.
G, you were alive for that, weren't you?
Yeah, slightly.
I'm chatting.
Don't worry, bro. I'm coming from you in many ways.
Agreed.
He's like, yeah, I was, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm looking at it now, and just to reiterate what you guys said quickly, passes. I mean, his passes are still decent compared to what they are. Do you know what I mean? Compared to that Salah's and Trent's, like 86%. He's still doing long balls, so he's doing all right in that regard. But I mean, the tackles. I mean, 50% tackles. You made 2 successful tackles in 3 games. In 3 games, that's really bad. That's really bad. And the problem is that I don't think we've ever been at a period where our main core have always been poor, have all been poor at the same time. So you might have had a period where Salah was poor, but then Virgil was good, and we defensively we were solid, so we can nick a 1-0. Or we might have been really bad defensively, but we win 5-4, 4-3, whatever it is, 2-1. Now what you're seeing is that we're not firing on all cylinders everywhere. Fabinho's not started great. Virgil ain't started great. Salah's not really started great. And yes, he's got goals, but we need more from him now, unfortunately. It's not enough just to get goals. We've seen it with United and Ronaldo. Ronaldo's on the bench because, he gets goals, but they need more than that. They need more. And at the moment, Salah's not providing that. We're in a sticky situation. Because as someone said here, without Virgil, I mean...
it showed, didn't it? Like in 2021, without Virgil, we struggle. We know that. But right now...
But it
doesn't look like Virgil.
It's what we said after the Manchester United game when I posted. Remember when I asked everybody? I sent in a squad, a lineup, against Leicester City that we faced, and it was the same squad, 2018 bar 2 players. I think it was Mane and Wijnaldum. 2 players, bro. 2 players. We're saying, as Jerry said. There are points where it's going to happen. Attack might not be good, but defense is on point. Defense might not be good, but the attack is on point. Midfield are kind of just in the middle, whatever. But we're seeing, bro, like we had the same team. So now everyone's gonna be kind of not on point anyway, because they've literally had their moments all at different times. There's gonna come a time when everyone is going to be at the same kind of position or going to be in the same kind of level, purely because defense have had their shitty moment, attack have had their shitty moment. Now they're both having that shitty moment together because they've been together for ages. We haven't refreshed it yet. If we,
what would you say, G? At the beginning of this season, which department for Liverpool do you think has been the best? Defense, midfield, or attack?
They've all been as bad as each other. That's why.
In fact, let me rephrase it, G. Which department has been the least worse?
Yeah, that's a better way.
We've scored every
day.
What?
What?
That's what I was thinking. We're clutching at straws here, but I was going to say attack as well.
But look at the shots on target. We're not clinical enough. How many chances have we had? We should have finished games off with the chances we've had. But I genuinely think.
I hear you. I would say midfield, which is a weird thing. I would actually say the midfield, which is the weirdest thing because
I need to hear this. The only reason I'll say attack is because, again, clutching at straws. But that's what Jerry said. It could have been worse. We could have maybe not scored in any of the games. Do you know what I mean? So.
Like, think about it. If we scored, like, what it was 2-2 against Fulham, we scored 2 goals. That 2 goals should beat Fulham. We should be able to do 2-0, 2-1.
Bro, Assad is so silly, bro. Leave us alone, bro. Let us just be mad.
Assad, we're in the mud together, bro.
Like
don't go anywhere. You're not clear as well.
Oh yeah, the likes. Have you got them likes, Jerry? Yeah. Remember, we got to get to 80, bro.
Yeah, Jesus.
Big up, Ricky.
Big up. Ricky is, listen, Ricky, you know what? If I could, I'd give him goated status. So every time he comments, we hear, bah. Yeah, I mean, we've got 74 guys. We've got 74 likes.
We need 6 more people.
Yeah, we need 6 more. But yeah, I mean, when you look at it now, it's just one of those ones where, yeah, I mean, yeah, goalkeeper's been the best. I mean, Jared said it.
Yeah,
Alisson's been the best. Alisson's been the best.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah,
I'll give it to Alisson, but I mean, cool. I don't really know what else to say. I don't know about you guys, but I'm still so lethargic.
Yeah, that's what I'm.
It's because, bro, you got to realize we've basically done the same show for the last 3 games, effectively. The only difference is that now we've lost. To be honest, the other games felt like a loss anyway. And in every game, we've said the exact same thing.
I like you said that, G. Let me ask all 3 of you then. Which game out of the 3 is the worst from Liverpool? Which game out of the 3? Take points away. Take points away from it, like performance-wise.
United was the worst. Yeah. And that's the scary thing. It's gotten worse and worse and worse.
Probably would say United, yeah. That's been the worst performance that we've had.
Yeah.
After that, I'd probably say Fulham. Yeah, Fulham.
Crystal Palace has been our best performance. Crystal Palace, we actually looked decent, but we just got caught.
I expect that too, though. Look where we played. You know what I mean?
Bro, G, you're getting an admirer here, man.
Assad's my guy, though. You know what I'm saying? No, I got love for you, bro. No homo, though. No.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really know what else to say. I mean, look, I just need to get into this Bournemouth preview. I really want to analyze Bournemouth, see what they
say. You've been saying this for time. Don't make me put a bet on it. You said this for the last 3 days.
Marquez said that on a lot of channels. He said that on a lot of channels.
On a lot of channels, he said this.
At least 3 times.
Is that the final score?
Did you get the final score right?
No, I'm saying, is this what your final score will be, or is this just how the game will start?
You know what he did at first? Do you know what he said at first? 16 minutes more, 1-0, back post, towering over Trent. That's what he was putting at first. And it's like,
I can actually see that.
That's what I was saying. Like, it's not.
Maybe I put more to score on Saturday. I don't know. Maybe that.
I mean, look, LFC Aaron here before we had saying, look, I was watching Man City on Sunday. They have 5 genuine goal threats playing for them. We have 1 in Salah, maybe Diaz as well. And
Diaz
that's
ain't the goal threat.
But
Diaz
but-
is not
but-
the goal threat.
City probably have more than 5. That's the realist.
that's what I'm saying, and it's
It'll
just.
be a nice with 5.
I mean, look, we've done it, guys. I mean, we've broken down the game as much as we can, without getting into the nooks and crannies and of what's going on behind the scenes. And I think that's the best thing to do with the Bournemouth preview. I think then we can delve in and talk about the whole Naby Keita situation, all of this. And I mean, I think that's the best way to do it, because if we do it, then we'd be finished. I mean, PK said that I'll be on agreement that Firmino is finished. Stay tuned for the Bournemouth preview.
Yeah, I was about to say, stay tuned. You'll find out, boy.
But before we... Yeah.
8 days to save our season, lads. 8 days.
Literally 8 days.
8 days. Guys, before we head out, anything else to say? Anything coming up? Any news? Any PSAs?
I don't want any news. I don't want to go on Twitter. Nobody DM me. Nobody at me. Nobody tell me anything about Liverpool. Nobody tell me anything about Newcastle signing Isak. Paqueta can piss off as well. Like,
Anthony
I don't,
can piss off.
yeah, I just don't want to hear anything. But if you want to hear something, get over to Klopp Zone. We were going to do it tonight, a stat show, but we're going to do the stat show tomorrow, and it's about Bobby Firmino. Called Firmino or Firmino, yes. Is his career over at Liverpool? That's the show.
KZ, I know, bro. I'm just hoping.
Guys, 2 more likes to 80 likes. 2 more likes. Assad saying Ash is too cold, man. Big him up. The black Alex Ferguson with the accent.
A man said the black
What Alex Ferguson, though? Like,
Hold on.
hey, Alex Ferguson talks like this, so I don't know why. Like, you're saying that I'm talking Scottish, because I'm not. You're not. I'm saying, like, that's Fergie. I'm not from Scotland, mate. I'm from Bolton, not from Scotland. Get it right. Get it right.
Alex Ferguson. Don't you support United as well, Ash? Isn't that your second team?
Have a minute.
Isn't Bolton there? Anyway, not gonna get into it. But
It is near, yeah. It is near.
Saturday will be a good day, because obviously if the result don't go our way, I can, you know what I mean?
I already know what you're on, bro.
Obviously, I'm just going to Arsenal for them. I'm going to be live there.
So, guys, on the weekend, Roms is going to watch Arsenal versus Fulham. Just to let you know, Liverpool are also playing Bournemouth, but he's going to watch Arsenal.
So he won't be available. He won't be available for our reaction, because
he's definitely not going to be available.
So big up them, man.
Be on DR Sports.
Yeah. If you guys need to tune into Roms this weekend, as Jerry said, tune into AFTV. You'll catch one of their main stars. You're good to go, bro.
Last one.
All right, come on. We'll answer this one.
Last one, Ravi. Hold on. Can I say that might be really happening?
Wait, KZ, you just said 4 minutes ago we're not signing anyone. Where
Yeah, Ravi.
Unless you just got news now.
Casey's Caicedo. That's actually Caicedo. He's on his way.
I swear down.
Yeah, that's where it is, man. Ravi saying, question for all the panel before we head out. I think that's the best way to head out.
Let's do it.
On a bombshell. Does Pep Linders need to be questioned as he's part of the coaching team?
Read the book.
G, do you know what, G? Get it up now, the contents page, and read some of those titles out, because some of those titles in the contents page just says everything. Let me see if I can find it.
One of them,
because it's on my phone. Let me see if I can get it on my the laptop. Give me 2 seconds.
See if I can find it here.
I think Jerry said
we sent it in the group, and I've got it.
Oh, you got it. All right.
So these are some of the titles from Pep Linder's. Amazing.
When you go through it, one of them pisses me off. But I'll
read them all.
Book, guys. This is just the contents page. Yeah, there's this is the title.
Yeah, so these are these are your chapters. So let me read all the titles for the chapters out. I'll read them all, and then you can jump out and pick some out. First one: training is our transfer. Then
I'm already annoyed.
First pass forward. Do it again, Naby lad. A season in 3 games. Make fate your best friend. What do we really want?
That's the one that pisses me.
Freedom inside the system. Is this the best we've got? LFC Total Football 2021-22. Make it load. Back to the origins. The one rule principle. One playing for 11. Liverpool's lab. Getaway. How angry can we be? Inflame the stadium today. Football assassins. Plan A with Team B. A shoal of fish. Wow. Wow. This is one. Wow. Only us. And then the last one is Mo and Trent's universe. What a weird guy.
Yeah.
Oh, just eat. No, what? Just eat the last one.
Sorry,
just eat the last one.
Mo and Trent's universe, innit?
Just eat the last one. No, deep that Trent and Mo's universe. If the other players, they all probably got a free copy. How do the other players feel? What are they on a pedestal now? Are they better than us?
That's it.
What are you doing?
And that
hear what I'm saying to you, though.
Well.
No.
Trent, if you're Trent or Hendo, do it again, Naby lad. Like,
but hear what I'm saying, though. Hear what I'm saying,
Get injured again. Get injured again.
One of your chapters is one of your chapters is called "Training is Our Transfer." Like, if you ever wanted to know what FSG and Klopp were on, that title has to tell you everything. Training is our transfer. And when everyone's wondering why we're not signing players,
and do you what's key in that? It's not coaching is our transfer.
Exactly.
Any one of us can train. And on that note, it's been the Joey James Show. Tune into the preview. Perhaps tomorrow, maybe tomorrow, maybe we'll see. Tomorrow or Friday at the latest, it will be. Guys, stay blessed. It's been the Joey James Show. It's been Ash, Roms, and G, and we're out, people.
Peace.